The other word that people want to know is, what is this? What is this word? It's not Carantouan. It's a place. It's a nation that actually existed in 1615, and I think it's important for people to realize it's even 5 years before the Pilgrims were at Plymouth Rock. That's how far back it was. It was when the very first white explorers, Jesuit priests, were traveling around in the Northeast. And this is how I try to teach people how to say it. So I'm going to say it once, and then we're all going to say it together. So it's Carantouan. Okay, I'm going to go back. See, you guys are going to sound smart when you move here, right? You ready? Carantouan. Not Carantouan. So, here's the story. I'm going to tell it quick. You know, I used to use 50 slides to tell the story of Carantouan. And basically, this is it. Up in this region is where this French explorer was, Samuel Champlain. And Merdous was Lake Huron and the Georgian Bay all there together. And there he was making a deal with the Hurons. He was actually trying to get beaver skins, and, you know, that's what they were all doing at that point. He was a businessman. And the Hurons actually were trying to get guns. Long story short, okay, just cut to the chase. Humans are humans, wherever they go, right? Well, the Hurons wanted Samuel Champlain to go to battle against the Onondaga with them. And Samuel Champlain was convinced, because of an agreement they claimed to have made with the people of Carantouan, to give them 500 more warriors for that battle. Okay? However, the people of Carantouan lived way far away. So there was a problem. How do we get those warriors to join us at this battle site, which many believe was near Syracuse? Well, what happened was, he looked to his interpreter, his young helper, Etienne Brule, 16-year-old Etienne Brule, and asked him to take 12 warriors over to Carantouan, rendezvous with him at a certain time to do battle. Okay? So here he is, up with the Hurons, and he and his 12 warriors go trucking through. You see how this roundabout way happens? It's because there's all these different tribes, and they're all at war with each other. Right about here, if you know the Forbidden Path, could be relative, until he gets to Bang, the nation of Carantouan. The nation of Carantouan was described to be on a river that ran to the sea. It had 3 villages, 1, 2, 3. And when you look at this map, you can see this dotted path that I was following, right? And where does it go? Does it go here? No. Does it go here? No. Does it go here? No. It goes here, to some other place. So we see 3 villages and something else. I believe that is Spanish Hill. So what happens when he gets there is, you know, the natives are happy to see him, and they put on a 3-day celebration. 3 days. And then Champlain says that then they made their decision to send the warriors, the 500 warriors. And what did they have to do? They had to go out to these villages, collect the warriors, and then arm them. By the time all this hullabaloo occurred, and they made it to the battle site, guess what? The battle was over. Champlain was pretty well upset. In fact, he was hurt. And actually, he was carried in a basket over the shoulder of a Huron in the end, back to where they went. In the meantime, by the time Brule got there with the 500 warriors, there was no Champlain, there was no one else. So what did he do? He turned around and went back to the nation of Carantouan, where he lived for several years, exploring the region. It wasn't until he ran back into Champlain several years later that Champlain even knew that he was still alive. And then he goes on to describe the area of Carantouan, how he went down the river in the direction of Florida, tells the whole story. And that's basically the story of Carantouan. Why is it important to us? Because it really was the first explorer in our region. There were, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but it was Etienne Brule that came here 1615, 5 years before the Pilgrims, and it's the beginning of our history. History, not prehistory. The nation is very warlike, as those of the nation of the Hurons maintain. They have only three villages, which are in the midst of more than 20 others on which they make war without the assistance from their friends. I keep on stressing three villages because that was a big mistake that a lot of people made. The early people didn't make the mistake. It was the later people in the last 50 years that didn't understand. They thought Spanish Hill was supposed to hold all the evidence for 4,000 people that these three villages really held. So when they went to Spanish Hill, what they did was they said, where's the evidence of 4,000 people, which was the calculation to allow 500 to go off in battle? And they didn't find it there. And what I'm trying to tell you is, they shouldn't have been looking there in the first place. So from Champlain's map, what you see is the three villages and that large, steep, fortified area, and you see Brule's path, where the celebration occurred and the decisions were made. I believe that's Towanda, Tioga Point, Engelberg. Spanish Hill.